Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Many apologies if I don't sound like myself. I'm currently been dealing with a cold all week. Lots of congestion, coughing, sore throat, the whole 9 yards that comes with cold season, and being reminded that it absolutely sucks when it happens. But nevertheless, I'm here to do a video, and I'm going to be talking today about the big news. Lex Luger has now been added to the WWE Hall of Fame class. He will be inducted in the 2025 Hall of Fame. And he will basically be giving a speech, and it's the acknowledgement of somebody that really had a controversial career. If you follow Lex Luger, you know that where he came from. I first saw him when he was part of NWA wrestling before it became WCW. And Lex Luger was a guy that had a physique, he had intensity, he had charisma. But a lot of people really question his ring work, despite I don't think his ring work was all that bad. I remember seeing him win the television championship, the U.S. championship, even winning the WCW championship. And the guy's WCW run, NWA days, were absolutely superior to his WWE career. Mainly because, excuse me, Lex Luger might not have been the flashiest guy. He may not have been the most technical guy, but he definitely contributed to professional wrestling, which is what WCW and the NWA founded its whole foundation on. It was not really about cheesy gimmicks or any of that. It was just wrestling. And it made sense that he would go on to win the WCW championship before actually leaving the company, and he tried out the World Bodybuilding Federation. That was very brief. And then he emerged in WWE, and he became the narcissist. And then that gimmick kind of faded out. And then when Hulk Hogan left WWE in '93, they needed somebody to step up and take the mantle of the top babyface in the feud with Yokozuna, who was WWE champion at the time. Lex Luger was transitioned into Man Made in the USA. And he would go on to slam Yokozuna, and then he would have a match with him at SummerSlam '93, which sadly Luger did not win the championship because he won via countout. And despite getting another title opportunity almost a year later at Yokozuna at WrestleMania 10, Luger was not able to get a WWE title run, and that would be the start of the beginning of his career coming to an end. And he would go back to WCW, despite Eric Bischoff, who was running WCW at the time, openly said in shoot interviews that he was not really crazy about bringing Lex back to the company. But as a favor to Sting, Luger was apparently recommended to Eric Bischoff, and Eric Bischoff did it as a favor. And they brought Lex Luger back, and on the very first Monday Nitro, he emerged, and everyone was like, wow, what's he doing here? I thought he was in WWE. And, you know, apparently he never told Vince McMahon that he was already going to be going back to WCW. And when his contract expired, Lex wanted to get away from WWE and return to WCW, which was a better company to him, which made all the sense in the world. The guy would go on and have so many amazing feuds. He was a part of the Dungeon of Doom. He would end up becoming a babyface again and feuding with Hollywood Hogan in the NWO. And then he would basically turn heel, and then he would align himself with Ric Flair's group at the end of WCW's run, the Magnificent Seven. And then he would basically leave after WCW had closed, and he kind of bounced around a bit throughout the years. Luger, say what you will, the guy was not always the greatest a wrestler, but I don't think he was as bad as what people tried to say he was, because the guy could put on really good matches. His moveset was limited, I'll give him that. But, he didn't need a whole ton of moves to have fans notice him. The guy could do other things in the ring and still get noticed. And he really was somebody that, again, he had intensity, he had charisma, he definitely had a limited moveset, but he had the look, and he was somebody that came from the professional wrestling era to where it was about wrestling more and not like it is now with silly gimmicks and stuff like that. And to be fair, I mean, his going back to WCW years ago was really something that a lot of people questioned, because it seemed like he was on the verge of big things in WWE, but technically speaking, he really wasn't. You know, he wanted out because WWE was just not giving him any more title shots. He had a tag team with Davey Boy Smith, the British Bulldog, called the Allied Powers, which they were going to go after the tag team championship. And of course, that tag team kind of fizzled out because Luger was just really unhappy being in the company and he wanted to go back to what was working. And Luger, when he got back to WCW, I mean, I think they did more with him, and I think they were able to be more of a wrestling company to where he could work more and be visibly happier. Not that he didn't look happy in WWE, but WWE was more about the soap opera sports entertainment aspect and not so much about the wrestling quality. So I think when he went back to what worked, that was what definitely benefited him and as well as WCW, despite Eric Bischoff said he did not want to sign Lex back, but, you know, I'm glad that he did. I really can tell you that I think he deserves to be inducted. I mean, say what you will. I mean, the guy was involved in some controversy throughout his career as well as his health taking a decline. But Lex Luger was a hard worker, and no doubt about it. He came from bodybuilding. He became a wrestler. He was in football. He won championships. I mean, the guy still has those credentials, and he will forever be remembered as the total package Lex Luger, man made in the USA, the narcissist, all these gimmicks that basically he was given are versions of his real self. But the total package was really where I remember seeing him for the very first time. Definitely somebody that I could say that gave wrestling a lot of memories. And he's somebody that I definitely can say I'm glad that he's being inducted, despite the Hall of Fame gets criticized. People say it's a joke and all that, but it's the acknowledgement of a wrestling career is what I'm getting at. And Lex Luger, he's been ready for a long time to be inducted. I don't know why they didn't induct him sooner, but, you know, I'm glad he's being inducted now. And, you know, definitely it's awesome news if you're a Lex Luger fan. And how do you guys feel about him being inducted into the Hall of Fame? And again, I'm sorry if I've been coughing in this video. I still am not 100%. But anyways, tell me what you think in the comments section down below. Do you guys think Lex Luger being in is a very good thing or a bad thing? Tell me down below. Hit the subscribe button if you're brand new to the channel. Thanks again for watching, guys. And I'm going to go ahead and try to flush out the last of this cold. And I'm going to hopefully feel better to where I can start resuming videos again. Thanks again for watching, everybody.